Fortnite Chapter 7 is going to disappoint you. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but that's exactly what's going to happen. At some point this chapter, you are going to get disappointed. I've been playing the game for 8 years, okay? I'm making content on it for about 4 of those 8. And what I've noticed over time is that there are a lot of patterns. And these patterns that I'm going to talk about are things that even I've done, okay? We've all done it. We've all gone through the period of, oh my gosh, Fortnite's peak. Oh my gosh, this game is ass. I hate it. I don't want to play this anymore. To, oh my gosh, we're so back, okay? We've all been there, done that. I want to make it very clear. I'm speaking from a place of experience when we're having this conversation. If you were to go back on this channel and look at some of my older content, you would see a completely different person. I used to get so worked up and so upset about certain changes that were made to this game. I'll give you a prime example. If you go back on this channel to the era when zero builds was first introduced inside of Fortnite, I thought that it was going to be the worst thing that ever happened to Fort. I thought it was going to absolutely ruin and destroy the game, that it was going to split the player base too much, that nobody should have to play zero builds, or nobody should be focused on playing zero builds because the real game of Fortnite is building, yada yada. Fast forward to the present day, and zero builds is now my most played mode out of all the modes inside of Fortnite. As a matter of fact, zero builds typically is the more popular mode inside of Fortnite right now. I enjoy zero builds more than I do building. But why am I bringing all this up? Like, what's the point to what I'm getting at here? I would say in the last 2 years specifically, so I would say the middle of chapter 4 onward, I kind of started to do a little bit of self-reflection when it came to my content, as well as when it came to my perspective on things. There were so many things that I got outraged about because I thought I knew why Epic was doing something a certain way, or because I thought that my perspective on the game was sincerely the best one. And both of those things just turned out not to be the case. Turns out, and this might be a shocker to a lot of you, but I was wrong about some things. Can you imagine that? I know, it's insanity, right? But I think that's why my takes or my perspective has become more tame over the years, because like there were certain things that I feel should be done a certain way that, generally speaking, might not be the best move for the community moving forward. What I've learned is that Fortnite is an insanely difficult game to balance out, and there are a lot of compromises that have to be made. There are a lot of changes that have to be made, but getting back to the entire point of this video and what I'm trying to get at, which is Chapter 7 being disappointing. There are just some things that we all need to accept are going to happen. There are going to be bad decisions, or in our minds, bad decisions that are made by Epic, but they could be made for the best of intentions. Maybe some of them are made for the worst of intentions. Like the cosmetics. I know cosmetics are a big one that everybody gets all up in arms about. Like, for example, I do not think the pets are worth it. Like, for the same price as a Fortnite skin, I can pay for a pet that I can only customize one time. And if I want to do it again, I have to repurchase it. I'm not a big fan of that model. I just know that personally, I'm not going to be supporting that because it's not something that I believe in. And hey, if enough of us say we don't like that and we don't pay for it, then maybe they'll lower the price, which they have done in the past. But still, I don't think it's anything that's so egregious that I'm going to like flip out about it and write a petition and get all upset and be like, hey, how dare you do this? You killed my grandma. But at the same time, I do think it's important that people are vocal and they speak their mind. I don't know. I think there's just a way to do these things. But see, the problem with what I just said is that's an example of something that I don't care about. What happens when it comes to something that I do care about? For example, the storyline, which is what I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking right now. You guys know that I stepped away from doing storyline content for a really long time, okay? I even thought for the longest I would never touch the storyline ever again. But here we are back in 2025 making new Fortnite theories and Fortnite storyline content. And I have to admit, I'm actually happy that I was wrong, that I did return to the story because it's been fun and I've had a lot of fun with you guys. But see, there's the key word right there, which is fun. I want to enjoy my time with my community. And I think everybody that plays this game needs to look at it in this way, in the sense of what is the outcome that I want from Fortnite? That is the overall end goal. If I'm going to invest my time and money into something like a free video game, I want to make sure that I'm having the utmost amount of fun with it that's possible. I think generally speaking, we can all kind of agree on that philosophy. Now, the moment we stop having fun with something is the moment that we decide to back off, which is why I always tell people to take a break from Fort. And here's the thing, sometimes the things that you get really upset about, including the storyline, become more fun to you after you've taken a break from them for some time. Also, it should be noted that when enough people take a break from something, Epic pays attention. They're like, hey, we kind of want those people to come back, so maybe we need to step up our game too. There's value in taking a break and not spending time or money on this game. Even though I don't think Fortnite was going to die earlier this year and the player counts were our typical cyclical process that we have every year with Fortnite, I do think that Epic was taking note, especially when all the content creators came out of the woodwork and started talking about what was wrong with Fort. But getting back to my main point here, outcomes, fun, Fortnite storyline. I'll give you one prime example of what I'm talking about when it comes to my core philosophy on this and what I plan on doing moving forward. Back when we had Fortnite Fracture, everybody was so hyped and so excited about it. I think back to that time, even right before that season had dropped, that Paradise season, going back to the very start when the Chrome was being teased and everybody was wondering like what the theming was for the season and everything, leading all the way up to Fracture, all the theories that we made, the podcast that we had, the conversations that we had as a community, me and the other Fortnite theorists at the time. It was so much fun. We had such a good time. And then Fracture hit and it was absolutely terrible and anticlimactic. And at the time I was very outraged and upset about it. And I made a whole video talking about how Fracture was like the worst piece of crap that's ever existed. Although I don't disagree with anything that I said back then, I think my attitude towards things like that now is a lot different. Like, I might not like the writing or the storytelling, and I might genuinely get frustrated by it from time to time, but at the same time, it's not gonna get to a point anymore where I think it ruins my day. Like, I think it's fun and can even be funny to actually talk about how Epic is dropping the ball narratively speaking. Looking back at Fracture, I had to ask myself the question, during that time when I was crafting all those theories and doing all those podcasts and talking about the Fortnite storyline, making all those videos and those live streams, do I regret doing it? And the answer is no. Like, even though Fracture turned out bad, I had fun when I was theorizing about what I thought was going to happen with the game. And just because it didn't turn out the way that I wanted to, doesn't mean that like my time was wasted. Yes, it does suck when something's anticlimactic and the story's not written well, but I also could admit that during that process, I had a good time. And that's kind of my stance on it right now. Do I just want Epic to write out any crazy slop story that they can just to kind of get us all addicted and attached to the game? Absolutely not, no. But at the same time, I think I'm starting to understand Fortnite for what it is. It's cheap, easy access entertainment that provides me and my audience an escape for a little bit of time. It's something that's fun to engage with. And the thing is this, if I'm having fun with you guys are getting value out of my content or out of the community that we've built up, and we're enjoying each other's company and the process of playing this game, even through its downturns and the bad moments, that's worth it to me. Because there's one thing that's true about my relationship with Fortnite, outside of me being married to battle passes, it's that if one aspect of the game sucks, I will go to a different part of the game and enjoy that. For example, if I don't like competitive Fortnite, I'm going to go play creative Fortnite for a while. And when creative Fortnite gets stale, well, maybe then I'll go back to Pubs BR. And if I'm tired of Pubs BR, well, maybe we'll start doing some storyline content again. You see what I'm saying? Like, Fortnite is more fun when you enjoy more than one aspect of it. One last thing that I think will keep all of this in its proper perspective is when you start to understand that there's more to life than Fortnite, which I know I've made that joke a bunch of times on this channel, but I don't think people really understand what that means sometimes, and I don't really think they let it resonate. Like, when you start playing other games outside of Fort or start doing other things outside of Fort, when the bad changes happen, you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not going to engage with the game as much, and that's totally fine. Like, one thing that I've done a lot this year is experiment with a lot of different types of content. I've been making so much content outside of Fortnite, and I'm starting to really sit down and think about what I'm doing as a content creator. I'm getting success in areas that have nothing to do with Fortnite, and that intrigues me. That excites me. I'm not the only one that's doing that. A lot of you guys have also told me that you have taken a break from Fort. I've had people come back, leave comments in some of my most recent videos talking about how they just haven't been playing Fortnite a whole lot over the last couple of years, but the storyline is kind of bringing them back, or this other aspect of Fortnite is kind of bringing them back. Maybe it's the Simpsons season, whatever, but something's brought them back to Fortnite to where we're all getting excited for this live event that's dropping tomorrow. And you know what? I think the people that took that break, that went away from Fortnite for that long period of time, I think those are the people that are probably going to have the most fun. When you make content on this game every day or play the game every day, brother, it will drive you insane. But when Fortnite becomes part of what you do, instead of it being the thing that you do, it puts it into a different perspective. I have a lot of love and respect for all the dedicated Fortnite content creators, but there's been something that's been tugging at me, especially this year, that's been telling me, hey, I think you need to do something that's bigger than just Fort. That doesn't mean I'm quitting Fortnite. That doesn't mean I don't want to make content on the game anymore, but there's just other things that I think I need to be dabbling in that can take me to areas where I'm trying to get to, because Fortnite exclusively is just not going to do that. But on the other hand, I'd be a fool to completely throw away the legacy and the brand that I built here and the relationship that I built with all of you guys. I love this game. I still love playing this game. It's just not going to be my only thing anymore. And as of right now, Fortnite is still a priority, and I intend for it to be that way for the foreseeable future, at least for a little while. but there will come a point where it's not. And even when it's not, it doesn't mean that I don't want to incorporate it into whatever it is that I'm doing. But I am starting to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel when you start to leave Fortnite behind a little bit. Look, I'm not saying any of this to discourage anybody else in their journey. However you choose to interact with Fortnite is entirely up to you, but I think all of us need to think about the outcomes that we want from this game. So moving forward into Chapter 7, I think you need to go into it with the expectation of you getting disappointed with something. Something's going to happen to where you just are not enjoying the game, and you know what? That's okay.